process from Forestry Commission to Minerals Commission to Gazette to going onto the portal, the online portal, and even paying fees. And what was left was for the minister, myself, to grant the mining lease. And whatever operations they would have mounted there would be lawful, would be legal. I had not determined that application yet. And the reports were that some activities, alleged activities, were taking place in the forest reserve. And I use the alleged with emphasis. Now, the Forestry Commission, which has the legal mandate for the preservation of forest reserves in Ghana, is currently conducting operational and legal audits and investigations into this particular forest reserve. And I don't mean just the allegations relating to Akonta, the entire forest reserve. Thankfully and happily, the report I've received is that the Forestry Commission is been able to clear the forest reserve of any activities. In fact, yesterday, my deputy minister flew over the forest reserve with a helicopter to make sure that there are no activities in the forest reserve. And the forest reserve is now safeguarded so that people cannot go in anymore. And so is it for other forest reserves. In fact, tomorrow, my deputy minister, Benito, is meeting all the regional managers and district managers of Forestry Commission in Kumasi to map out a strategy to ensure that all forest reserves in Ghana continue to be protected. So that is that. We have to wait for the report of the Forestry Commission.
We need it as a nation in these times. From the pulpit, do encourage hard work, understanding work as a vocation, and patriotism as a virtue. The Ghanaians must continue to embrace in this new year and beyond, so that Ghana will remain a shining star of Africa and a key player on the world stage. Let me respond briefly to the chairperson on the issue of illegal mining. I want to assure him and all of you that Akonta mining is not engaged in any illegal mining anywhere in Ghana as we speak. Engaged in any illegal mining, and all of you, that Akonta mining is not engaged in any illegal mining anywhere in Ghana as we speak. On the issue of illegal mining, I want to assure him and all of you that Akonta mining is not engaged in any illegal mining anywhere in Ghana as we speak.
Government is broke, government is broke. The people are spending billions to go inside the government that is broke. Have you ever seen a minister who resigned because government is broke before? Government has no money. Have you ever seen a governor who said, ladies and gentlemen, when I was elected, I thought the government had money. Now I discover government has no money, I resign. Have you ever seen it? Government has no money, but they are bringing money out at election time. Where is that money coming from? So they are lying. What is happening is that there are two types of wicked people in government. Type 1, they eat current money. Any money they find in government, they will eat it. They are wicked about that one. There is type 2. Type 2, they eat current money and future money. They will say, my term will end next year. When I leave, how will I eat money? Let me borrow money now and borrow money of the future and eat it now. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the show. Today is the 22nd of April 2025. My name is Aldo Moro. Thanks for joining us on Good Morning Ghana. We're back again. By God's grace, we're live and kicking. And we're back again to join the nation's conversation, what's happening in our dear country, Ghana. We're back from the Easter break, and we thank God for his mercies. So I'll start with the daily graphic, as we do know, as part of looking at the front pages of the newspapers. The daily graphic this morning reports that at Kwahu Business Forum, Mahama unveils vision for private sector. There's 34 police commanders reshuffled in the Galamsey areas. World mourns Pope Francis. Akonta mining license revoked. There's DBG rolls out 500 million cedis package to bolster agric economy. The Ghanaian Times
Government revokes a contaminating lease for trespassing Tanonimri Forest Reserve. Lands Minister. There's women empowerment in Tiame. Minority leader pledges support. At Kwahu Business Forum, we are turning the corner, President Mahama. And there's tributes pour in from world leaders after Pope Francis's death. Daily Guide. Nana meets John Mahama Kufuor at Kwahu Easter. Government revokes a contaminating license. Bamia NPP begin thank you tour. There's police seize illegal ammunition in Volta region. Pope Francis dies aged 88. Tribute pour in. The New Crusading Guide. Minority cautions government of a hasty introduction of new policies on mining. NDC has poor record of managing Ghana's debt, Dr. Frank Abano. AG revokes marriage officiating certificates of jailed HARC pastors. Social media activists petitions OSP over judge's decision in Enchi Galamsey case. Report suspicious arms-related activities that NACSA appeals to public. And the Apia Kubi backs ACCP's anti-smuggling campaign. Frema Foundation feeds needy and orphans as part of Easter celebration. MPP 2024 defeat. Freedom fighters demand full disclosure of Mike Okwe report. Let's strive to blend the good practices of Christian traditional religions or bring Pong Dr. Weche Kojo II urges Ghanaians. AG revokes licenses of jailed pastors following Holy Apostolic Church's request. A proposed shift from VAT to sales tax. Ghana now embracing the power of sales tax system. World Catholic mourn death of Pope Francis, who died 88. Daily Post. Finance Minister Dr. Atuforsin leads Ghana's delegation to IMF spring meetings. And as Akonta Mines' license to be revoked, it has become a criminal syndicate selling access to forest reserves to other illegal miners. President Mahama eulogizes Pope Francis, describes him as a man of compassion and humility who was committed to social justice. Government anchors on fiscal discipline to pursue IMF program targets. Damai Mines takeover, Mincom dispels lack of local capacity sentiment. Ghana's listed commercial paper issuance opens door to new financing mode. And that's it for the front page of the newspapers. We'll be returning. Okay, sorry about that. There's actually one more to have a couple more to go. So, Daily Searchlight, sorry about that. Daily Searchlight. Enterprise fires back. There's United Nations mourn passing of Pope. There's new HIV infection spreading like wildfire in Breku municipality, according to GHS. There's UEW student kills himself for love. The Business and Financial Times. 3 oil refineries, 5 petrochemical plants to be constructed. There's FEDCO sets GSE commercial paper ball rolling with 72.5 million cedis of 200 million cedis raised. Commercial grade nickel discovered in Oti region, and as government gets bold digital reset in motion. All right, so these are some of the front page stories in the newspapers. I'll be returning shortly.
Anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh breath.
I'm a fat missy way.
The patch of Bantama.
My chest.
That's of cycle.
Her smile.
The fresh breath.
Me Gidi said we used to Cal 360 toothpaste. Cal 360 toothpaste.
Guys, Kia, Cal 360 toothpaste. It's a gum protector.
Onim jom kasa. Ile hosen. Cal 360 better way. It's cool mint. Gives me fresh breath and your confidence booster.
You will so feeling to when you know Cal 360 toothpaste.
Happy smile.
Cal 360 toothpaste, anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh breath. Cal, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
Look around. Home also need a makeover. Mine clearly does. So we went to Ashroom and found the Como collection. It had everything we're looking for and more. Merchant furniture for the entire home, designed with you in mind.
Where's Como collection? Dressing up is just a breeze. Always ready with a perfect accessory.
A magic dressing mirror. One look and you're ready to face the world. Or at least the kids.
A bed perfect for young men who want
a table that turns into a treasure chest.
And finally, a sofa with this grand TV unit for family time at home.
Head over to any Ashphone store now and discover the new Como collection. Ashphone, feel it, know it.
Sometimes the unexpected happens and the hero falls down in his own story. But he needs not stay down for long. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance is your trusted health partner. Whether an individual building a business, with Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern. For the best health insurance solutions for corporate institutions, groups and associations, families and individuals, choose Cosmopolitan Health Insurance from our over 700 accredited health service providers nationwide. Call us on 0302 540 668 or 0501 678 547 for all your health insurance solutions. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern.
Fire pomudi ni agubi Ghana fueni aje efise ya your local spices na ya frafra dia ya sankofa natural spice
me de go me jollof mu ni me still ahodoma e ma ne dance
darling the barbecue the go on
sankofa natural spices and one you use 100% natural said the happen
adofo mamunye huge mistake sankofa natural spices the
FDA ejedi nkratu yatu
Energy drink.
Ama, nansi mi general well-being enkoye kwao. Ama ma ye bohu se kuntomra akija.
Nansi me hu se me nyo basi makura. Ama me kunu me into kwankwa. Oyiwa. Enye mo ko. Give us JC mixture. And then the capsules are your boom and want some namokana. A bois and ma and a memenina. Ne ma ba ye obesima. Na bear must why your bemessima. Ya, with the boy, I'm a net giant sour the shelly bottom. No, when you yan and into sessing you or you chop one.
and a castle. Achisa.
A painful about one more menu for one and Kwada when if you do me.
Hello, my friends. My name is Kelkit's Toothpaste. Wow. I was made to be gentle on your gum, but protected. I will protect your teeth from cavity, make your teeth whiter, stronger, keep your mouth fresh all day. And best of all, I'm strawberry flavored. So put on a smile and try me.
That's amazing.
Just try me. That's my job.
If you say so, jump on my brush. Makes your teeth stronger, chicky whiter, chicky stronger. Yay! You did it!
I'm glad you like your new toothpaste. Don't forget to brush both day and night.
Kelkits, happy smile.
At the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority, DVLA, our mission is to promote good driving standards on our roads and other public places. We can only achieve this by ensuring that every driver and vehicle owner has access to quality services and the right information to stay compliant with road safety regulations. This is why we are excited to introduce the 2025 National Community Outreach Program, an initiative designed to bring our services and education closer to the public. This initiative is to actively engage transport unions, corporate entities, and communities. We invite you to stay connected as we bring DVLA services right to your doorstep. At DVLA, your safety will continue to be our concern.
The fact still remains that it was during the NDC's period, all the discoveries in Ghana today, and I made it clear, is the record, about 23 recoveries. 21 of the recoveries were discovered under our period, and I'm very proud of it. The fact still remains that it was during the NDC's period, all the discoveries in Ghana today, and I made it clear, is the record, about 23 recoveries. 21 of the recoveries were discovered under our period, and I'm very proud of it. And as a result, is the liaison of these dealings. He serves as the gatekeeper, negotiating fees and granting illegal access. The concessions are then subleased to individuals like one Mr. Henry and another individual identified as Shaq, who are to oversee the devastation of the Abois Forest Reserve and the Tano River. As part of the agreement between Akonta Mining and the illegal miners, a weekly royalties of 250 grams of gold are to be paid to the company, lining the pockets of Akonta's collaborators. Another breakthrough.
Now, you're still live on Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. And now, Before I let you in on my guest for today, let me just say that two very important businesses or companies are associated with the Good Morning Ghana show. Now, Polytank is the latest kid on the block. Now, Polytank is probably associated with the Good Morning Ghana program. So, Charlie, look, this is Ghana. You only get deceived if you're not sure of what you're buying or you don't really know the market. When it comes to water storage tank, the name we all know is Polytank. Yeah, Polytank, right? So it has been with us for over 30 years and has been trusted by all these generations. So make no mistake, always choose Polytank for guaranteed quality. It's available at the same price across the country at Polytank partner shops. So be it Rambo, Hippo, Sumo, or Super Sumo, durability is always assured. Polytank, the original, always the best. Papano Ankasa, Ankasa, Ankasa. Anyway, so Polytank does not request for Momo payments online. Please beware. Please beware. And also, my favorite Blue Jeans energy drink. Blue Jeans energy drink, I've always said to you, it's been tested, it's been tried, it's fantastic, it's great, it's fascinating, it's lovely. And it's survived the Ghanaian market for more than 20 years. So it stands to, or it tells you about the quality that this brand or this product represents. So in terms of its benefits, it has a vitamin B2, B3, B6, B12, as well as taurine and guarana, which are known to boost your strength and energy, as well as promote high performance and endurance. And Blue Jeans energy drink has been tested and has been tried. We know it and we can testify it. And it's in shops nationwide. So for bulk purchases, contact Budget Cash and Carry Limited on 0208 128 190, 0208 128 190, 055 001 000, 055 001 000. So, okay, all right. That's fine. All right, so that's it. Joining me this morning are two very distinguished gentlemen, and I'm going to be introducing them shortly. Now, joining me this morning, in fact, one of them is actually not new on the show, and it's just that he took an AWOL, and he's returned. I'm talking about the man Alfred George Kojo Thompson. He's a finance person, he's an economist, and he's also he's a man of many parts. But for now, let's just say he's an economist and also a finance person. He's also a banking person, so let me put it that way. So that's Alfred George Kojo Thompson. He's a member of the MP's communications team. Alfred, it's good to see you. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are
you?
you?
Very well. I'm doing very well.
You're looking good.
I would say
you're looking really good.
Christ is risen.
Yeah. Is that the reason you're looking good?
Christ is risen. What do you say?
Okay.
You don't know what to say.
How do you say it? What do you say?
Well, it's risen indeed. Hallelujah.
Oh, well,
when is the Muslim time? We say Baraka de Salah.
Baraka de Salah. We say Baraka Kareem.
Yeah. Okay, and now I'm saying Christ is risen. You see, all of you are lost.
But no, this is interesting because usually when it's time for Easter, you don't get these kinds of salutations.
So now we all have to introduce
Christmas.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you say again?
Christ is risen. Then you say He is risen indeed.
Oh,
Hallelujah.
He's risen indeed.
Hallelujah.
So that's the greeting for Easter.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. It's an interesting one because that's what Easter represents, really.
The death and the resurrection.
The resurrection of
Christ. And it's interesting that we lost the Pope during the Easter season.
Yeah, can you imagine?
Very interesting, yeah.
Can you imagine? What an interesting coincidence.
When Christ rose, then he also decided to go.
Yeah.
May his soul rest in perfect peace.
Yeah. Interesting. Anyway, so also joining us is a man who I believe is new on the show. And I say I believe because there was a previous host of the show. And as far as Annie and I are concerned, it's his first time on the show. So that's Dr. Frederick Ntiamwa.
Yeah.
Yes, he's a member of the NDC's communications team. Doc, it's good to see you. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing very well.
And, not many people, I would say, have seen you communicating for the NDC.
Yes.
Who are you really?
Okay.
I mean, this is my first time I'm seeing you on the show.
Yes.
Yeah, it's So
Okay.
talk, Dr. Frederick Zerwa.
I've been a member of my party for quite some time.
Okay.
Just that I've been at the grassroots,
Ah.
at my constituency,
Okay.
trying to help the constituency come up.
Okay.
So it was, quite recently I decided now I have to also, help, show face and make sure that at least we also educate Ghanaians about policies the government is bringing on board.
Okay. I see. So basically you're done with the groundwork.
I still
now
go.
It's time for
the groundwork can never stop.
No.
The groundwork can never
still.
You still do the groundwork.
Even the president does the groundwork.
The groundwork, yeah, that's true. But what was your motivation for wanting to now come out publicly and start engaging Ghanaians about what the NDC stands for, the NDC's policies and programs and activities and so on? What was your motivation really?
I think that over the years, I've been listening to a number of communicators from both sides, other parties. But previously it was so-called propaganda. You come and you say things that will make the crowd feel okay, but in reality, most of the things you are saying are not what is on the ground. But I feel that we have come way, far to still be doing this whole propaganda kind of thing. And so it's better for us to rather educate and let people know what is the reality than sitting somewhere and throw dust into the eyes of the people. So that is what motivates me. And I feel that if we have a lot of youth coming in who are really interested in trying to educate and tell the people what is the real issue, so that as a country we can all put our hands together and help the country move forward. Because if we have people who are throwing dust, then you won't know what is really happening. But if we have people who can communicate the reality, irrespective of your government in power, whether you are in opposition, and you can still speak to national issues and let people know what affects everybody as a Ghanaian, then together all hands will be on deck and we can move on.
Okay. Now, speaking about, it's an interesting reason you've just given. That's my final question to you before we move on and talk about our more substantive issues for the day. But you talked about how, in your view, there's a lot of propaganda that's been spewed on the media or the media platforms, especially by party communicators and so on. And you feel you have a quota that you can also contribute in shaping public conversation, but in a more qualitative way, you know what I mean? Now, your party under Fifi Kwete had a propaganda secretary until I want to believe in 2010 or so, when the party decided to go to Congress and changed that nomenclature. So from propaganda secretary to now national communications officer. Were you one of those who was a bit concerned about that position, which is propaganda secretary, and perhaps the impression that it created in the minds of some persons? Remember that the MPP, they milked it quite well, and so everything the NDC said will say, well, this is a party that has this, a communications arrowhead as propaganda secretary, to sort of chip away or to dilute the essence of what you're saying. What were your thoughts back in the day when your party had propaganda secretary as its as a position?
I wouldn't want to say much about that side, because obviously we have been able
Would
to...
Would you have wished the party didn't have that?
No, I would not say yes, I would have wished. No, because at that time, that is what we needed to help us to move forward.
Okay.
And, we grow. Day in and day out. If you look at history, we evolve.
Yeah.
Even knowledge evolve with time.
Okay.
So you can start from one point. You have to start at a point in your life. And once you start and you get to know that there are better ways of doing it and you change, it doesn't mean that what you did initially was completely out of place.
Okay.
That is your starting point, and everybody has a starting point.
Okay.
So I think that it wasn't bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
You mean perhaps the thinking at the time made it right, but of course with time the party felt that, look, something had to change. Okay, that's fine. So I want us to start with, so we are talking about Easter. And you know how we celebrate Easter in this part of town. Easter essentially is about Kwahu and what happens there. Now, there was a big event that happened there. It's called the Kwahu Business Forum, the second of its kind. It started last year, and it looks like it appears this year it's been ramped up.
Yeah.
And most of the newspapers have carried different angles to that particular event, you know. And if you look at the Daily Graphic, it says, at Kwahu Business Forum, Mahama unveils vision for private sector. And that story is on page 13. And it says by McLean Kofi, who is reporting from Impriaso in Kwahu. He says the President John Dramani Mahama has stated that the government is committed to empowering Ghanaians to become business owners and drivers of enterprises. Our focus is not only on attracting foreign investment, we're equally committed to empowering Ghanaians to become owners and drivers of enterprises. That is why my government will support the private sector, not just with policy, but with decisive action to inspire growth. At the second edition of the Kwahu Business Forum at Impriaso in the Kwahu South District in the Eastern Region last Saturday, President Mahama said his vision was to build the country's future business landscape through bold and deliberate policies. The government, he said, was pursuing a targeted program to restore investor confidence by enhancing transparency, cutting bureaucratic red tape, and promoting a rules-based investment climate. He said this was being pursued by prioritizing specific sectors to create jobs and grow the economy sustainably. Consequently, he stated that the government intended to prioritize investing in sectors such as agro-processing information communications technology, manufacturing, tourism, renewable energy, and the green economy. President Mahama said the government would expand access to affordable financing through the Development Bank Ghana, the proposed Women's Development Bank, and a partnership with private financial institutions. The government, he said, would further provide support to small and medium enterprises with targeted financing, tax incentives, and technical support. And it says we'll modernize infrastructure, including roads, logistics, and digital connectivity to create an environment where businesses can thrive. And it says we'll reduce the cost of borrowing by reforming credit systems and supporting blended finance instruments. The President Mahama stated that his administration will retool the financial sector to serve the real economy through government borrowing of speculative trading. Consequently, he said the government would launch a national venture capital fund to support the youth of the country. And the story goes on and on and on and on. Yes, to support women and businesses and introduce regulatory reforms that encourage banks and financial institutions to lend to productive sectors of the economy. Now, financial inclusion will be at the heart of this agenda. No economy can grow if its people remain excluded from former national systems. We'll work with banks, fintechs, financial technology companies, and mobile money operators to expand access to financial services, particularly in rural and underserved communities. The President stated that the future of businesses in the country must be digital, green, and inclusive. We're entering an era where digital infrastructure is as important as roads and bridges. As part of the 24-hour economy strategy, we'll create the conditions through reliable electricity, logistics, and public safety for businesses to operate around the clock. He asked that this was intended to boost productivity, create jobs, and expand opportunities across the country. So the majority leader also spoke and talked about the support from Parliament, and the minority leader talks about depoliticizing entrepreneurship. And I thought it was a very interesting, speech that he also gave. How businesses or some businesses are targeted by virtue of who the ownership is, whether it's NDC, NPP, and we kill them. And I thought it was quite interesting too. What are your thoughts about this event? I mean, as a communicator for this government, and what do you think? Why do you think this is a big deal? The fact that we brought the financial sector, and financial sector players. Yeah. on one hand, and then businesses on the other hand. We brought them together to see how we can create sustainable jobs and create the next generation of entrepreneurs. What do you make of this?
Okay, thank you. Before I start, I would like to use the opportunity to say good morning to all Ghanaians, especially those who are working really hard to make sure that the Reset Ghana agenda of our visionary leader, President John Dramani Mahama, becomes a success. And when we're talking about business, we are looking at making sure that we grow as a country economically. And so over the years, if you look at the private sector. That is the part that is able to absorb most of Ghanaians in terms of employment, as compared to the civil service. And so private sector has been a major backbone to the Ghana's economy when it comes to employment. And this is one area that I think we should commend the President through the Chief of Staff for such a good initiative, trying to make sure that stakeholders in the economy, whereby we have entrepreneurs, we have business men, people who are even starting up businesses, are being able to merge with the financial institutions. Because if you ask anybody today, what is one of the major critical issues that we face as a country in terms of business, most of the business people will tell you it's about financing. Even though you look at Ghana, we have agricultural development banks, we have so many banks that are supposed to help our businesses or the private sector to grow. But here is the case. You go as a private and as a young entrepreneur, you want to set up something. You enter there, they ask for things you don't have before they can give you loan. So if the government has seen as part of the initiative to boost the economy, to make sure that he birthed this idea, whereby he would rather bring the people that we go to and they always turn a blind eye to us, closer to the business people, then I think it's a very good initiative and we must commend them for that effort. But going forward, if you look at how the program was organized, I followed it a little bit. You could see that all CEOs, especially those in the banking sector, they were all involved right from the start. And so it was an opportunity for the investors and one for business owners, entrepreneurs, to come, have jaw to jaw, tell them what their challenges have been over the years, especially in area of financing. Then once they get to know that, okay, this is the challenge so far, acquisition of loans, acquisition of capital to start an investment, while the president or the government is also there to see the lapses where he can step in to make sure that these areas are resolved. So I think that it was one good thing, because we had the likes of so many banks. I look at the advertisements right from the beginning before the program even started, and they were willing. You look at most of our big men in the country, you saw some names, you saw some faces, and these people have been in business. And one of them was to make sure that those who are there, they will promote them not only in Ghana, but beyond Ghana and Africa. So those who are already, we think they have arrived, they still have a lot to do. They can compete worldwide. So what can the states or what can the government do to help these people to become competitive? If you go to China, as we speak now, the economy of China is growing because deliberately the government decided to create billionaires. And as we sit now, China has a lot of billionaires because the government policies, he was able to bring these people on board to find out what is their problem, how can they help the indigents, those who have set up businesses, to be able to grow so that we get these people in the economy. And they can also hold the upcoming entrepreneurs, help them, show them the way to become like them. So what has been done in other countries is exactly what the visionary leader, President John Dramani Mahama, is trying to use the Kwahu Business Forum to achieve in Ghana, making sure that already established businesses can be equipped to become more stronger and to be able to compete internationally, whereas those who are upcoming, these businesses will also be able to hold them, show them the way, so that they will also come to a certain stage. If that happens, then as a country, we have done a very good job in terms of the economy, because we have youth unemployment being one of the major issues that hits the country. And so if there are businesses that have capacity to employ, let's say, 50 people, if the government comes in, bringing these financial institutions to make sure that they can support them, give them the leverage whereby they can grow more, then they expand their scope whereby they will be able to employ a lot of Ghanaians, and this reduces the unemployment issue the government spoke about. The same way, new businesses that are going to start up, the government is intended to help them through this forum once we have jaw to jaw, and also the financial institutions have been made to understand that these small businesses need assistance financially. So if they are going to do that, very soon, in the next couple of years, we'll have a lot of businesses springing up. And these businesses are going to help a lot of Ghanaians to be employed. Because as we speak now, most people are crying. There is no job. There is no this. Especially if you look at those that we go into the formal education system. You finish and you have a degree, you have a certificate, and you think that the certificate is a warranty for job, which is not true. Because if there are no businesses, you hold that certificate for years, and nobody is going to call you for an interview. Even if you go for the interview, they need only one person. 1,000 people have been applied. The vacancy is just one. But if there are more businesses coming up, even if they are not employing in large quantity in terms of numbers, and they are taking 5, 10, and we have 1,000 businesses growing up every year, then we are likely to have a lot of people being absorbed into the private sector, and that reduces the burden on government. So I would say that it's a very good initiative, and I believe that it will not just end there as a talk, because now the financial institutions, one of the tasks that the president asks from them is to make sure that they pick 5 businesses.
Actually 6.
6, yeah.
Yes,
yes.
6 businesses.
Yes, thanks for the correction.
Yeah.
6 businesses. Make sure that they help them financially, supervise their growth, so that next year, when that same forum is given, they will come and give an account as to how the businesses have done. And so if we are going to repeat this year after year, then in a short time, we're going to have a lot of businesses in the country that are going to do well, compete locally and also internationally. And in the long run, it's the economy that is going to boost. Because if we have businesses that are involved in production, it means that it will reduce the cost of importation of some of these things. If we have businesses that are involved in converting some of our raw materials into finished goods for our own consumption, then we won't spend much money importing most of these things. That puts stress on our currency and all that. So this, by and large, is a very good initiative.
Okay.
That I think
we're told that the vision here is to create about 600 businesses by 2028. About 600 or so. That's sounds like a very ambitious target, but we'll see how that goes. Alfred, I mean, you but because of your background as a financial sector player, it will be interesting to get your view on what has happened at Kwahu. What happened at Kwahu over the weekend? Were there any valuable insights that you took from the
good morning
from the event?
Again to you and to Dr. Ntiawa. And I'll say a special good morning to Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Baumia and the wife Samira. Over the weekend, I was around them and we had interesting conversations.
Okay. Oh, you mean you were with the former vice president?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we had very interesting conversations about the country and the way forward.
Okay.
And it's interesting to state that some of the things he was looking ahead to do is to first streamline. You see, you have to take the chicken and the egg. Which one comes first? You don't just get up and go to Kwahu and give all these lofty promises without getting the base right. Was the governor of the Bank of Ghana there?
I doubt.
I didn't see him there.
I doubt he was there.
Isn't he the person?
I think he's even out of town. I believe,
isn't he, or any of his reps?
Yeah,
isn't he the person? He has 2 deputies. Isn't he the person who is in charge of the banking sector? If the prime rate is up, the interest rate will definitely go up.
Right.
And if you tell them that reduce your interest rate, who is going to do that? We're getting everything wrong from the onset. It's not just about the rhetorics. If it's about the rhetorics, you can all do it and walk away. Didn't we ask for Ghana Beyond Aid? Didn't we ask for understand 1D, 1F, where every constituency or every hook and crony should be able to have their own source of income by producing things? But what stopped all this? I remember when I was at NIB, the president, Nana Akufo-Addo, called especially the banking understand within the government-regulated banks and said that, listen, I want you to spearhead this 1D, 1F. I want to make sure that every time you are at least sponsoring some company to boost itself. But it all comes back to one thing. If the prime rate is not coming down, work done is zero. So what did Dr. Baumia at that time say? He says, one, let us look at identifying ourselves. The key aspect of it, identify yourself. Identify your address. That is why he was always going on the digital era, the biometrics. Identify your address. And thirdly, the credit scoring system, where each and every individual is scored on their personal notes. If I go for a loan, the last 5 years, I've gone for 3 loans, and I've consistently paid. Once you are doing that credit scoring system, I go into the system where when they go and pick my details up, they realize that I can now even give this person a loan on a lower base. Because at the moment, we are doing a wholesale interest rate system where when you go into the agri sector, the interest rate is higher than even the commercial rate interest rate. So you ask yourself, are we growing the agri sector? Why wouldn't an ADB do more in the commercial than in the agri sector? Because the default rate in the agri sector is high. It's high. So I believe the president should take a break and really do the homework. Let us people sit down and work well. Get him the information he needs before he can start sailing and giving us all the nice rhetorics. We want a productive sector, a very good productive sector. But at the moment, we all see where letters are being given to people who have worked over 6 months, even 2 years. I've seen one for 2 years that they've told them that they should go home because they can no longer employ them.
Yeah.
Over 100, 200, 300 people have been sacked within the last 3-4 months from various organizations. Now you tell me that you want to grow the economy by giving more jobs? How do we do that? You don't say one thing and do another.
I get it. I get it.
Now coming back to
just
the access to finance.
I mean, look, they are very valid and legitimate concerns that you've raised. But doesn't that rather justify the creation of a platform like this? Because I noticed that, because I followed it too, I noticed that 2 things happened, basically. There was a platform that was created for people to have a conversation generally about the business climate, right? And some of these issues...
Which they know. Everybody knows. They've been saying it over the years.
That's right. You know, the thing about this country is nothing's new under the sun. But we keep talking. Even some of the issues we're talking about today, we keep talking. But I'm saying that the platform was created for a conversation to be had on the concerns that the business community have, right? And one of which is what you've just raised. Valid, very legitimate, because if we don't get the basics right, we're building on a very weak foundation. Where are we going? And then the second part was about what the financial institutions themselves are saying they can do under the circumstances to support businesses regardless. So some of them were actually prepared to bend, to bend backwards in order to bring down interest rates, especially for the businesses that will be selecting. So for instance, if you're supposed to be selling money at say 20-something%, of course, based on the Bank of Ghana's prime rate, or what we call the policy rate, they are prepared to bring it down. So like special rates for some of these businesses.
They usually do that when government is going to pay the other aspect of it.
Is that what happens all the time?
It's been going on for how many years now? Go and check. Usually, the government will tell you that, okay, learn to understand this agri sector. These people within the agri sector are 15%.
Okay.
The difference between the 15 to the 25%,
which is the 10%,
which is the 10%, I would pay.
Oh, but it doesn't make sense.
It's happened. It's been happening.
Because at the end, you and I will pay for that 10%.
Yes. So it's nothing new. That is why I'm saying that let us get our basics.
But don't banks and
that is why you get banks folding up sometimes, because sometimes it gets to a time where when government has to pay, they don't come in.
But don't banks have special dispensations for certain kinds of businesses, even without government intervention?
they come out with their interest rates.
Yes.
Based on the policy rates.
Yes.
Less plus or minus.
Exactly.
This percentage.
Exactly.
But most of the time, it's plus. Most of the time, because when you're looking at your policy rate, you're looking at what you put on it. There's insurance, there's other things that come in. Because when I'm giving you, let's say, 100 Ghana cedis, the first thing I should make, and when you are checking the interest rates that are put on, how it's calculated, you realize that almost every time, the first few years or the first few part of the payment are very punitive. High interest, just to cover the money that has been lent out. Then the rest is the interest spread over some time. That is the profits that you make out of it. So you realize that at the end of the day, most businesses start paying and they are locked up. Most of them start paying and they are locked up. You see, so you need the person who is in charge to come in and say that, listen, we are going to give special dispensation for certain things. Let us all work together as a team. Let us make sure that if I'm giving agri sector, I want to make special case for agri sector. Any loans within the agri sector should not be more than this percentage or that percentage. We all work towards it. Because you can't come to maybe one good bank or a foreign bank who will give you some rates, and then the local banks are fighting over it. Because at the end of the day, most people go to the local banks and they think that is government money, so why should I pay? And then the banks suffer. Then you realize that you are closing our banks. You see, let us sit down and look at this holistically. It's like, oh yes, we've promised something, so let us give. He talked about the tax system, or the what do you call it? Another point he raised was the tax, and I was reading here for SMEs. It says that taxes support for SMEs, tax incentives, technical support, and improved infrastructure to lower business costs. Have they reduced taxes? No, apart from e-levy that they took out, the main taxes are still high. I remember on a campaign platform, the president stood out and said that, oh, when you go to the port, we have about 20-something taxes over there, or 19 or 20 taxes that have been listed. And he listed all of it. I thought one of the first things they were going to do was to scrap up some of those taxes. One of the first policies, or the things MPP did, was to scrap 15 when we came in 2017. 17 new cents. I even said 15. Most of the time I say 15 because the last one I never remember. 17. But 17 new cents. Even though there's
some contentions there, but it's 17.
Fact. 17 new cents. It's a fact. You can't take it away. Yes, later on, when there were some problems and this, we brought in some other taxes and this. But there were so many taxes we took out. We felt that one of the first taxes they said they were going to take out was the COVID tax. What has happened to it? You go to the port and still, I cleared something last week. I'm clearing another goods this week. The prices you pay for things are enormous. And you ask yourself, what is happening? Where are all the lofty promises that were given during campaign time? The finance minister is now telling us that they are setting up a committee to look at how they are going to go around the COVID tax. But when you were saying it, didn't you know that you were supposed to look at it? Then they come and tell us, they give us so many stories. One, they are saying that today, as we speak, on the 3rd of May, they are increasing electricity by how much? 14.75%. So every person is going to suffer for this. When you go and say, they'll tell you that, but you signed that under IMF with, what do you call it? MPP signed it with IMF before they came into power. But there are things that we signed with IMF but you've taken off. We told IMF that due to the e-levy, we'll give you this. Yes, Dr. Bomia said when he comes, he was going to take it off. But he was going to look for other ways of getting monies back into the kitty. You haven't showed us other ways you are getting money back into the kitty. As we speak now, mining companies are suffering because they've increased their tax with the mining companies. Meanwhile, some of the licenses that you give them 1 year that they should operate with, and that after 1 year, when the gold board comes in, you are going to make sure that they, what do you call it? They renew their license and this. It's been revoked because of the gold board. People are suffering. International companies are suffering. And then you sit down and tell me that, oh, let us do business. Let us create wealth. Let us create the atmosphere where production is more than this thing. I remember in our time, yes. Nanado said what? This thing, Ghana beyond it. He said, what do you call it? Industrialization. Everybody is looking at industrializing this country because they know that at the end of it, the final products are better than giving the raw materials out at a cheaper rate.
Okay.
So everybody wants to go to that towards that that's the way. But how do we go about it? Do we just do the normal rhetorics, or do we now put incentives in the way or around that people can pick up on it? You don't tell me that I'm going to create a job, and meanwhile, what I see in your first 4 years, or your first 4 months, or your first 100 days is sacking people. You don't tell me that I'm going to reduce taxes when I see that I'm rather going to pay more taxes.
Right.
Because I'm paying, or I'm going to pay more utilities and everything, because bills are going to go up, and it's going to affect the end product. All these are things that we should look at.
Okay.
Yes, we created the, the development bank, just to create more wealth.
Okay.
You talked about the women banking. It hasn't even started. And it would not take less than a year or two for the Women Development Bank to go into operation. Because at the moment, the money they've given them is just to do the preparatory work. I don't think that money would even start a development bank. A development bank is over $1 million. And so to go and do a women's development bank, you need over $1 million, not about the 25,000 or how much did you people say you are putting as a kitty?
Right.
That they've done. So let us be realistic. Let us be truthful to ourselves. Because the first thing you have to do is that when you are meeting them, be truthful about it. Yes, I just came into office. Yes, we want to work together. Yes, this is what I want the end result to be. But let us all look at it holistically and see how best we can help ourselves by making sure that interest rates are reduced. If we go through that the system that Dr. Baumia wanted to put in place, the credit scoring, the digital location, the Ghana card, everything put together, you realize that people will be judged individually. So at the end of it all, you will be able to take your loans on an individual basis, not on the massive scale that we are doing at the moment, which is not helping businesses.
Okay. Now, there's a couple of questions that I need to ask you. One is a clarity, and two is for us to try and set the record straight. Now, the first one you said was about, you said in principle, you are uncomfortable with situations where businesses are given special tax, dispensations.
No special tax dispensation. Loans.
Sorry, loans. Yeah. Loans. Sorry, not tax. Loans. Or at special interest rates, because at the end of the day, it is the government that ultimately pays for it. And in some cases, government is unable to pay, and then it creates all kinds of crises for those financial institutions. But I also do know, as a matter of fact, that when the NPP came to government in 2017, you revoked the licenses of about 9 banks or so. Now, you mentioned in your comment that usually government is able to influence the banks that it has some stakes in or some interest in, because the purely foreign banks, it's difficult to do so, because you don't have any control or any interest in.
And it's a give and take. I mean, once you want something from them, they also want something from you.
Exactly. What we call a quid pro quo. Yeah. Now, the just thing, would it have been possible in the 8 years of the NPP to have even attempted to ask any bank to have, to say, support any of these local businesses, especially when these banks were not operational anymore?
We've had meetings several times on that. I told you that there was a meeting, I was even part of it with the president.
You were with NIB?
Yeah. Okay. The ADB MD was there. At that time, MD wasn't well, so I represented the bank. The GCB MD was there. There were, I think, a couple of either Exim Bank and 1 or 2 others, just to try and see how we can work together. But I stated clearly that, listen, the first thing is to let Bank of Ghana see that if you are going to go this way, then we need that support from them, because if your rates are going high and I'm supposed to abide by that and I'm doing something differently, at the end of the day, it affects my bank. When they come and check and they are booking all the bad debts, loans and things that have been given, they don't look at some of these special dispensations that are given. They just tell you that you didn't do your work well and your bank has to be closed. Or you go into the category where they'll get, they'll have the stake in your bank where they would have the controlling rights or the managerial rights to make sure that you are doing things the right way until it's liquidated. So all these come into play when you are looking at that. And that's why I say that to start all this, let us really sit down and see where the problems are and identify them one after another, and then start moving.
So what was the policy at the time? Was the policy at the time which was support local business? Because you just said, for instance, you gave an example of 1D1F. Was the policy at the time that, especially
the president wanted
banks
to
like
support local
ADB,
businesses,
Ghana Commercial Bank, NIB and Co, was there any specific, sort of instruction to you to support these companies in whichever way? Was there such a policy?
You remember there used to be a bank called UMB.
Yes, Universal Merchant Bank.
Sorry,
it's
not UMB, Merchant Bank.
It used to be Merchant Bank. Yes. It's not Universal Merchant
There's
Bank.
ADB.
Yes.
There's BHC. Do you remember BHC?
Yes.
Bank for
yes,
Housing and Construction.
Yes.
Then we had the NIB for investment and everything.
Yes.
All these banks were opened for a purpose.
Okay.
They were all open for a purpose.
Right.
But most of these banks are now doing commercial banking. What a government needs to do is to tell them that, listen, you've made a profit of maybe 100 billion this year. Out of the 100 billion, I need you to vote 70 billion in your commercial banking to make get these monies to come and support maybe an agric bank, for example, the agric sector, 30% should be purely agric because that is what you are open for. But when we leave you to do agric, because agric loans take about 4, 5, 6 years to start seeing something for them to even start paying back.
Okay.
So if you want such a thing to happen, then you have to create the avenue for it. It's not by rhetorics, but to make sure that there's a conscious effort where even policies are drawn towards that direction. That 30% should be purely this. And every profit, maybe some of the profits that government should plow back, should go into this sector.
But did that happen during your tenure?
During every tenure, it hasn't happened.
Okay.
Because most of the time, when you go into the books, you realize that most of them are doing commercial.
Okay.
Because you can't afford to go into a pure agric sector where you know that if you are not careful, the bank will be closed. It means that the government will have to be feeding you with cheap funds and make sure that you also get your returns back. And as I'm saying, with agric, it's not a yearly thing. It takes, if you want to get someone going into commercial farming, then you have to look at 5-10 years of continuous investment into the business.
Okay. All right. And again, secondly, you also talked about, and here I'll take the portion of the blame as well. When you were talking about the efforts that the Etua government had put in place to create a conducive business, a congenial business atmosphere. Yeah. You talked about the party in government at the time scrapping 17 taxes. It's actually factually inaccurate. And because whilst you were at it, I was doing my own fact checking, and I also want to say a big thanks to Annie Efuampofo for drawing my attention to this, because Fact Check Ghana did some work on this, and it came up with this finding, and it says communicators to the ruling MPP say that the government has abolished 17 taxes. However, the claim is misleading. What the government did with this was to scrap the same tax of 17.5% VAT NHIL off some specific services and goods. That does not mean the government abolished 4 different taxes. 1, the MPP abolished 17.5% VAT NHIL on financial services, selected imported medicines that are not produced locally, domestic airline tickets, 5% VAT NHIL on real estate sales. 2, the MP government also abolished income taxes on the following: 1% income tax on mutual fund and unit trust schemes, 25% income tax on real estate investment trust, which is what we call the REIT, 5% income tax on the commission of lotto agents and tax on lotto winnings. Other taxes the government has scrapped include the following: 1% special import levy, abolished excise duty on petroleum, duty on the importation of spare parts, levies imposed on KAE by local authorities, and then tax on the gains from the realization of securities listed on the Ghana Stock Exchange or publicly held securities approved by the Securities and Exchange Commission. So the claim that the MP government has scrapped 17 nuisance taxes and has introduced not more than 10 is false.
So how many taxes were scrapped?
So for here, it's actually 5 taxes that were scrapped. 5.
Remember there was something like, I think, is it condom tax also that was scrapped? You remember?
Well,
all those small nuisance. That is what we call the nuisance taxes. You put all those together. You put all of those together.
But those
so
were,
if fact check is not going to check
those
on
were,
condoms and other.
But those were specific to specific items.
But and they all taxes.
Instead of say VAT, VAT applies to almost everything that
apart from the VAT that we looked at and every other lesson that you read, there were specific items that we took off, and that's what I'm saying. That I even read
so
that
you've put the two together. You've put
all of them together, yes, because there are taxes that have been reduced and scrapped. Okay. It's both reduction and scrap.
Oh, so that's why you keep talking about 17.
Yeah,
I see.
So it's not as if it's a one-line item that because it cuts across, so that is the 17. No. Okay. There are different little taxes that we felt were not necessary. I mean, if you are taxing something like condom, and there were, was it candles or something? There were little items that you really did not need to put taxes on.
Or levies on.
Or levies on, that you had to take off. And these are the things we are talking about.
Oh, okay. All right. But specifically in terms of tax assets, strictly speaking, there were just 5. But of course, like you said, if
I would have to go through that and
you don't doubt the fact check.
No, there are people who put their facts there.
Okay.
And there are people who put their facts there.
All right.
So and everybody, even as a government, we make mistakes.
We'll take a little.
If you look at the other taxes that were introduced, even more than
yes. Did we take taxes away or not? Whether we introduced some. And when I sat here, I never said, I didn't say that we didn't take taxes.
I think
we didn't put taxes on.
But there were introduction of new taxes that burdened us more.
My brother,
than 17
when I was sitting here, did I state that when the need arose, we brought in certain taxes to help? Did I say that?
No,
yes, I did.
You mentioned that.
I mentioned that. So don't do as if I came and I said that, we just took taxes off and that was it.
A number of them were taken away. But is it rather the opposite?
No,
realize that
no. The taxes
only few taxes were taken away. No. Numerous, I would say numerous, because you look at
name the number of taxes that we brought on. But
so,
it's not
true. So we have COVID levy that came in. We have electronic levy, financial sector cleanup. We have energy sector cleanup. We have sanitation and pollution. We have growth and sustainability. I can count and betting tax, withholding tax. We also have emission levy. We have tax.
Withholding tax was there already.
No. So there were some of the taxes. Already. What happened is that there was a review, and the review went in the upward. So we have a number of them that they reviewed.
There were even taxes that they put in that they were afraid to bring out.
There were a number of taxes that were reviewed in the upward direction.
True or false? When the number of taxes that you people in 2016 passed, but were afraid to bring out.
So let's do something before we are our advertisers or our how do you call it, our stakeholders slap some taxes on us for not doing what we are supposed to do. So just give us about 30 seconds, we'll be back. You're watching Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television.
It's a very good experience. If you get the chance to do it, don't be scared.
It's been a couple of years, about 3 years coming now. But I'm from here, so I just came to experience life and enjoy myself.
In the previous day, when I've never experienced this, I thought it's a different feeling altogether. But when I came here, even though I've never experienced the paragliding bar, there's a difference. So many things you can experience.
It's a very nice country. I like it.
Will you relocate and come here?
I'm not sure.
Why? But you said Ghana is a nice country.
Yeah, but I'm not. I don't know. It's too different.
It's too different, she said.
Paragliding is very, very nice. To me, show Obian Kran said next year Obian Brano Meshebi because.
Who are you? Who are you? Charlie, it'll be you from the future who doesn't sleep on that slice of bready poor mattress anymore. Don't some slippers then follow me. It is part of the mattress we did the front there. Yeah? That'll be the mattress where the dead go.
Wait, what are you doing?
Wow! No damage at all. Not only durable, but also super comfortable. Come on, try it.
Nothing day like Ash Foam. Enjoy full body support and unparalleled comfort for a restful sleep.
Don't forget your keys.
Get the premium sleep experience with mattresses from Ash Foam. Visit any of our showrooms nationwide or at ashfoam.com.
Fire pomudi ni agubi Ghana fueni age if you say ya your local spices na ya frafra dia ya sankofa natural spice
me de go me jollof mu ni me still ahodoma e ma ne dance
Stanley, the barbecue they go on.
Sankofa natural spices and one you use 100% natural. Said the happen.
Adofo, mamu huge mistake. Sankofa natural spices. The year
FDA ejedi nkratu yatu.
Taste this holiday for 249 Ghana cedis.
Yes, next. Hey, Nadia Benson, Asamo.
Me didn't tum. Mr. Friendly Calico, just call me cockroach.
Now, Mr. Friendly once now.
Hey, is that you? Improve car. Yeah. Captain Mosquito, double the action. Sasso spray, Mr. Friendly Sasso quell. Yeah, to my Sasa Tenunia.
Sasso, come on, Tom Preco.
You the answer to my prayer. You with me everywhere. You're my angel, miracle. You're all I need tonight. Give me shelter from the rain. You breathe life in me again. You're my angel, miracle. You're all I need to know tonight.
Mommy.
Michelle say, fe.
Different era, better result. Time has changed and time has brought Kel Choco toothpaste, healthy gums, anti-cavity, fresher breath, and it whitens teeth. Kel Choco toothpaste, Sankofa,
Yenchi, Kel chocolate toothpaste.
Happy smile.
This advert is FDA approved.
I'm a brand manager. Of course, I accept only quality and affordable printed souvenirs for my promotional campaigns.
I'm the head of academic affairs of a very important institution in Ghana. Of course, we only deal with quality, reliable printing companies for our institution's printing materials. I'm talking about appointed time printing.
Appointed Time Printings. We take pride in our extensive print scope that transform your ideas into captivating visual masterpieces. We delve into the core objectives and vision of each print project. Precision printing is at the heart of our printing process as we meet your tight deadlines. Our rigorous inspection, color verification, and overall printing excellence are assured. 20 years of printing excellence. It's always a pleasure working with you to create a vibrant, dazzling printing experience that gives you a masterpiece. Appointed Time Printing, your world of quality and affordable printing.
Unemu bua unkoisha Dr. Ban uye denwa.
Oh, Mr. Yamfani come and me buru wa.
Mami bro. Don't ya tell me ko bra. Mumi Yamfani ko Dr. Ban ho. Dr. Ban o ya de. Bra, se ban no mpemu adwuma sasabro slow Dr. Ban o ye.
So ni kemi kwa na meka. Oh no mpemu ni mdi ono na ye expert nya zanfo no. O akra eni kumasi no mpemu expert yen kan kire o.
MGL Logistics and Supply is your trusted partner, providing seamless solutions for all your procurement needs. From sourcing products to managing imports and exports, we ensure smooth and efficient transactions every step of the way. Whether you require goods from across the globe or need assistance in exporting your products to international markets, we got you covered. General trading is at the heart of our expertise. We specialize in a wide range of products, catering to various industries and markets. As a trusted dealership in building materials, we provide high-quality products that meet the demands of our construction projects. Additionally, we act as manufacturers' representatives, connecting producers with distributors. Our expertise in logistics is the backbone of our operations. We plan and execute transportation and delivery of goods, ensuring they reach their destination on time and in optimal condition. MGO Logistics and Supply, guaranteed satisfaction.
You're still live on Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. It's brought to you by Polytank and the Blue Jeans Energy Drink. I do have here Alfred Kojo Thompson, who is a member of the MPP's communications team. He's a finance person and also a banking professional. Also, another man, Frederick in Tiamoa, is with us here. He is a medical doctor and also a member of the NDC's communications team. So let me, and a lecturer as well, absolutely, and a lecturer as well at the University of Ghana, Legon. Doc, your concluding remarks on the Kwahu Business Forum and matters arising.
Yes, I think that we shouldn't lose focus of whatever happened there. If we want to, recall.
He raises for me an interesting view, which is that it's all well and good for us to go and talk about what we intend to do for private sector and to grow the next generation of businesses. But what was the extent of focus on the basic things that we ought to do, which is creating a congenial and a conducive atmosphere for businesses to thrive? You know, of course, I made a counter argument, but it's your turn to talk about it. So
Yes.
I don't know how you tend to respond to those
If
concerns
you look
that you
at
raised.
the environment that we're talking about, we all know we've talked about the VAT, and that's why when the government came to power, from the manifesto all the way to when he assumed office, he said that there should be a VAT reform. And truly, even though I'm a young man, but I still do some businesses, and you look at the VAT scheme in itself, a lot of businesses will not survive with VAT because the percentage, 21.9%. And so if I buy something today and I buy it for 90 cedis and I decide to put a margin of 10 cedis, making it 100 cedis, at the final sales, if I'm going with a standard rate, then I need to give 21.9% of my final, yes, the entire money that I've gotten from the sales of the product to government. And that will go, take my profit, then go into my principal. So this is something that the finance ministry is working, and I think that at the right time, it's too early for us to start blaming the government for not putting up or trying to make sure that all these promises that we have given to Ghanaians, which we know we are going to deliver, have still not materialized. It's too early. And I think that, 120 days, it's too early. We've seen the previous government from first 120 days, we saw what they did as compared to what the NDC is doing. You'll see that, we have done really, really well. Looking at the promises about tax issues, even though the VAT still stands as a challenge to a lot of businesses that are growing, but I think that whatever we have done so far, it points to the fact that we are on the right path and on the right track. And so Ghanaians should still have confidence in us and the president, who is the leader of the country, to make sure that whatever he has said, he will do it. And we should also not forget that we were talking about rate, bank rate and all that. And we met, in submissions, we realized that it is the Bank of Ghana that regulates the policy rate. And so as we move forward, there are a lot of engagements with the finance ministry and all that. And not everything that you can sit one day and talk about it. Some of them are still in the pipeline at the discussion stage. So we should have, hope and confidence that whatever that comes out finally, and based on whatever the president talked about at the forum, all will work together to make sure that businesses will thrive by making sure that at least they have loans at rates that are affordable through the Bank of Ghana, trying to help adjust the policy rates, which I believe that the government is ready to do that. It's just a matter of time. We just need time to sit down, look at the drawing board again, and put measures in place. So I will not say that, we rush in going to that forum. We need to start something. We need a starting point, as a country. And so we cannot sit, because if you look at the past administration, for 8 years, they were at the drawing board. So how can you be at the drawing board for 8 years, trying to make sure that you stabilize a number of things, then the 8 years is up. You haven't done anything for the Ghanaian people. It is better, once you start, the little step that you put in place at the drawing board, implement it. Let's see the shortcomings, because implementation is the only stage that you see the problems that are associated with your policy. And the president has taken a bold step to make sure that now the banks should come forward, take 6 companies. It is at that stage that we'll get to know that these banks will also come up with their reports. Based on trying to grow the businesses, they will know whether this policy rate is affecting them or not, because already we know. But at this time, it's at the practical stage. So they will be able to come in and say that, Mr. President, we need you to do A, B, C for us, so that together your vision will be accomplished. And so I believe that it is too early for us to judge and say it is wrong, it was a wrong move, and at a point we are going to crash. No, that is not, something that I think we should make it up there. We should all hope, because Ghana is for all of us.
Okay.
And like he said, he imported something from the port, and he's worried about tax. He's worried about all these things. And these are the taxes that the president, through the finance ministry, have promised Ghanaians that they are going to review, the VAT and all that. So let's give them, the opportunity and the chance, but not criticize and make it look like they cannot do it. Because once we start on that note, then we are rather wishing for the doom. And at the end of the day, it's going to affect each and every one of us. Because if the country thrives well, if the country grows economically, I'm sure whether you are an MPP or NDC, you are doing business. Business doesn't know party colors. the tax doesn't know party colors, because all those in NDC, they are paying tax. All those in MPP are also paying tax. So we should rally behind the government and make sure that whatever policies that he has and he wants to implement, he'll be able to implement it, and it will affect every Ghanaian and help grow the economy. I mean, that's what I stand for.
Okay, but finally, do you agree when he suggests that perhaps the central bank should have been a part of this forum because the activities or actions or inactions have a direct impact on the financial sector? Do you get that point,
yes,
that going forward,
yes,
perhaps the central bank governor should be part of this?
I understand that side, that the bank or the central bank should be involved. But from what he was saying, he was just looking at whether the minister was present or any of the deputies were present or any of the reps were present to ascertain the involvement of the central bank. And I think that that cannot be used as the basis.
Okay.
Because discussions obviously might have gone on with the ministry to bring all those involved and to let them know that they need for a review in terms of our policy rate and all that.
Okay.
So you not seeing them there doesn't stop there. It doesn't mean that that is the end. It means they are not involved and they cannot be involved in any way. But I think that what he raised is very important. And I'm sure the president and, I mean, the leaders of our country, they are listening.
Okay.
And they have taken note of that, and we work towards to make sure Ghana becomes a better place.
All right. So this weekend, the Kwahu business. No, I want us to move on. You've had two takes each on this matter.
This is very unfair.
Yeah, no. You've had two takes. Two takes. Okay.
We didn't have 2 takes. He started and I came in. Then he talked again and
I
really? Yes. No. He started.
I thought you had two
You
takes.
started the Kwahu business talk.
Oh yeah, that's to be fair. No, to be fair, you started. He came in. Yeah, to be fair. I like. Kekimi. I thought it was two. But let's be brief about it.
No, I'll be very brief.
Yeah,
I can only wish them well.
Okay.
But I would say that if they listen, not as partisan people, but to us, some of the mistakes we committed or we've made, and some of the things we've seen, and we feel that it could help them build this nation, it will help all of us.
Okay.
We want this thing to succeed. We want millionaires to be called from businesses. We don't want particular individuals to just be seen as the millionaires in Ghana. We want an ordinary person who is coming from Kofi Chrome to be able to walk to any department and say that, listen, this is what I'm growing. This is the support I need. So help me, or let us work together to get this done. That is what I want to see. I don't want a situation where I have to know the president or know the president's brother or know the president's friend to call someone before things are done. I don't think it will help this country. Let us let the natural system work. And when you are doing that, you need to involve all the stakeholders. Don't take some and leave some. Bring all the stakeholders involved. Let us all come to a round table. Let us agree. The businessmen are there, the financial institutions are there, but the person who checks the financial institution is not there. That's what I'm saying. If he is there and he also agrees to what we are all looking at and all working towards, it will help us. You don't need to meet him behind closed doors and later on come and tell us that, oh, I've met him and he's going to do it. It happened in years back that they've met. And at the end of it, they also took their own decision and did what they wanted to do. They help us.
Okay.
That's all.
Well, so like I said, over the weekend and during the holidays, it wasn't just the Kwahu Business Forum which took place, but there was also a presser by the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources Ministry, that's the Honorable Emmanuel Kofi-Boah, and he made some revelations which, well, may not be entirely new, except that he's added some more information to it. Now, it has to do with Akunta mining. And, of course, broadly speaking about illegal mining, which quite clearly, to all intents and purposes, poses an existential threat to all of us. It's a present and clear danger to all of us as citizens of this country. Now, Ghanaian Times reports on page 14, the government revokes Akunta mining lease for trespassing the Tano Nimiri Forest Reserve. Now, this one is by Times reporter. So the government has revoked the lease of Akunta Mining Company Limited with an immediate effect. Now, this is because Akunta Mining does not have a lease to mine in the Tano Nimiri Forest Reserve, making their mining activities in the forest illegal and criminal. The Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, Mr. Emmanuel Amakofi-Boa, briefing the press in Accra yesterday, said President John Dramani Mahama has authorized the Minerals Commission to take steps to revoke the lease of Akonta Mining Company Limited with immediate effect, adding that the Mahama government will stop at nothing to bring the company to book. One of the most egregious cases we have uncovered involves Akonta Mining Company Limited, a company legally registered and granted a government lease to mine responsibly off reserve outside the forest. Now, the company, however, did not possess an entry permit into the forest reserve of the Samreboy enclave of the Western North region. Yet, investigations revealed that Akonta Mining has flagrantly abused the lease. According to him, the Forestry Commission in August 2022, with assistance of the Ghana Police, made some arrests of some persons associated with Akonta Mining and encroaching on the forest reserve, especially compartment 161, and the docket was supposedly transferred to Accra for further action, yet he said nothing was heard of the case. He added that the company has not only trespassed into protected reserves, but has become a criminal syndicate selling access of the Aboy Forest Reserve to illegal miners for a staggering 300,000 Ghana cedis per concession. Worse, these illegal miners operate under Akonta's protection, devastating the river tunnel and surrounding forest with impunity. They have encroached compartments 49 and 121 of the tunnel, Nimri Forest Reserve. An undercover investigation, he said, revealed a complex network of illegal mining activities linked to Akonta Mining Company Limited, operating in the Aboy Forest Reserve and along the tunnel reserve. The operation, which involves collusion between company officials, forestry officers, and security personnel, has resulted in significant environmental destruction and exploitation of local resources, including illicit dealings, collusion, and corruption. Weekly royalties. The company received 250 grams of gold in weekly royalties from the illegal miners. Mr. Boa said that on Thursday, a joint operation by the Ghana Police Service and the Forestry Commission raided 6 illegal mining sites linked to Akonta Mining. The operation has resulted in 51 arrests, 8 Chinese and 43 Ghanaians, seizure of about 30 excavators, 5 recovered and impounded at the operation base, 2 pump-action guns loaded with 5 and 2 rounds of BB cartridges each, 1 single barrel gun retrieved, of confiscation of 2 Toyota Hilux pickups, 1 Toyota RAV4, 4 motorbikes, and a cache of mining equipment. So this is what we have. Doc?
Yes.
What more can you tell us about this?
What I want to say is, when you look at mining, especially illegal mining, popularly known as galamsey, this issue has become a national security issue as we stand now. Because this is a menace that is taking over our health system because it's affecting the health of Ghanaians. It is also something that we can consider as anti-development because it sets the nations back. If we look at recently, since last 2 years, some of the publications that have come out with the effect of mining in areas where these illegal mining activities are going on. We've seen babies for the first time in our history as a country. We've seen babies born with certain defects that are really, really, really unknown to us.
Yeah.
And these are things that have been associated or have been attributed to the likely cause from these illegal mining activities. So I think that as a country, we shouldn't look at it from a partisan approach, because I don't want to know who is the owner of Akonta Mining Company. All what I'm interested in is that anybody who is culpable should be put or should be punished according to what the law says. We shouldn't look at whether the owner belongs to party A or party B. If we try to start pointing fingers in that direction, then it means that we have failed in our fight. And at this point, I will commend the Minister for Land and Natural Resources, because if you look at the way the water body looks, I've watched Erastus a number of times with the documentary about the Tunnel River and this forest reserve.
Samra
Yes, Samra Enclave. You realize that if I'm in the shoes of the minister, I also cry, because then Ghana doesn't have a future. Because the effect trickles down to even people who think that they cannot be affected. We have foodstuffs coming in all the way from different parts of the country. In Accra here, how many people grow foodstuff? We don't have land to do that. And these foodstuffs are coming from places that these illegal mining activities are ongoing. So the chemical that is not good for our health leaches into the ground, finds ways to travel underground, goes to fertile lands, and these plants absorb them and convert them into food, which we consume here in Accra. So if we sit here and say that, oh, I don't stay in the village, at the end of the day, my wife is not going to give birth with defects. Let me share an interesting story that happened recently.
Okay.
I have a family member, and the wife gave birth. For the first time, the child was diagnosed to have one heart, and just half of the heart
was functioning.
Yes, was functioning. And this is something that 1 out in a million is not likely to encounter. So they had a first baby, and that first baby died few days after the baby came out. And we didn't really know what was the cause.
Okay.
But this second one that came, they took time, they went through all the medicals, and they realized that one half of the heart didn't form. And these things, if you look at medical history and all these things, they are associated with a number of things, genetics, as a result of mutations and all this. And the chemicals we use in our illegal mining can also be, implicated, because these also causes these mutations and all that. Nobody knows the source, but these are not things that we were used to in the country. So this illegal mining activity has become something that, as a country, all hands has to be on deck, then we fight it. In the course of the week, I saw something, I'm not sure whether you saw it, but that Ghana, we are now leading in the production of gold.
Yeah.
I was happy for the country, but I was also sad, in the sense that if we are leading, they are just saying that we are now the #1 producer of gold. They did not tell us about whether that gold was produced through the right practices in terms of mining or what. And you could see that right from 2023 to 2024, the increment in terms of gold production is about 50-something%.
Okay.
And this, I can say that it might be largely due to this illegal mining activity that is on the rise. And so if illegal mining activity is giving us a name as the largest producing company of gold in Ghana, yes, we are proud of it.
Okay.
But the effects of the activities still stay with us.
Right.
And we are going to suffer the consequence.
Okay.
So I would say that what the Lands and Natural Resource Ministry is doing is a great work, and we should commend them for the effort.
Okay.
And we are calling on all stakeholders, because this is not one man's battle. It's not an NDC battle. It's not an NPP. Because if it was a battle that was for just a political party, then for 8 years of Operation Galam Stop and all that, we would have, clamped these people down. But it goes beyond that. And if you listen to the minister, he made statements that are very important. He said that now we want to trace. We are not just interested in trying to get hold of the people that are just involved. Because these guys, believe me, from my village, it's going on there. These guys don't have money to purchase excavator. These guys don't have money for the huge, expensive equipment that is used in the mining sector. Because from day one, before he even gets into it, he doesn't have what to eat. So there are people that are behind it. It's a cartel that the government is looking at it holistically to be able to trace it to the top and get all the people that are involved, so that, because if you don't tackle it from the top, the down, you arrest them, you prosecute them, then next time they are in jail, they recruit new guys, because there are a lot of young guys that are unemployed. And so if in a month you can earn like 10,000, in Accra, how many people earn 10,000? So if they go to Galamsey site in a month, they are going to earn huge sums of money. These people will use money, lure them, and recruit new ones. But if we are able to get to the top, then we get hold of those who are investing and all that, then we are, in a way, fighting the process.
Okay.
So, by and large, I think that for their license to be revoked, because if you look at the activities, and I'm sure everybody in Ghana, those who are privy to news and all that, they have seen the videos that are going viral. If you look at the way the forest is destroyed, even including foreign nationals, how do they get to know that there is a forest reserve somewhere?
Okay.
Who even recruited them into the whole system? These are our own people. And people are back, because if you look at the submission from the minister, these people is like a cartel. They are hiding behind somebody who has a license to do the right thing, and they are doing the wrong thing.
Okay.
And they are protecting them. And that is why I would say that we should, I know people are not happy, and they say all sort of things with regard to the Blue Water Guards initiative that the president has, has launched.
Yeah.
Because if you look at it, we just need informants, people who can let us know. If you look at the minister's statement, he said that before they even get to the site, security agencies are involved, Forestry Commission people are involved. They just give a tip-off that today they are coming. And I can tell you that one of the things that didn't allow the previous government to succeed is because of this tip-off. And so if a president has come and is saying that I'm training people who are going to be the intelligence, they are going to be the eye, they are going to be the ear, to make sure that they, work hand in hand with local authorities, the same way working with the Navy, to make sure that all our water bodies are secured, then I think we should applaud them for that good work and initiative.
All right.
And you should not condemn them to say that these guys don't have the muscle. Because we've used muscles in the past. 8 years, Galamstop, military officers were involved. But where we are, and now Ghana is on the news, being the largest gold producing country, but at the end, the people in Ghana are suffering because bulk of this gold was as a result of illegal mining activities.
Right. And perhaps illegal smuggling as well.
Yes.
Anyway, Ernest. Me no care.
Alfred or Ernest?
Oh, sorry, Alfred, sorry.
You are even confused by what he says. You are calling me Ernest
no,
now.
I haven't said so.
You are even calling me Ernest
I
now.
haven't said so, Alfred. Yeah.
Did I see the minister crying?
Yes.
Crying about what?
Oh, he shed some brief tears.
That's what?
No, he said after seeing videos of what Akunta Mining has been doing, he felt very sad for this country. That's what he said.
Maybe he's feeling sad for himself.
Why?
Isn't it opposite his house or at his backyard in his hometown? Isn't there mining going on there?
You mean there's galamsey happening behind the minister's house?
Ask him.
You know this for a fact?
News came all around.
Where is that?
That even Erastus, he said news all around. That even either opposite the minister's AU or behind his system, there was galamsey going on there. He didn't cry. He didn't cry.
That's what Erastus
Did we
said.
give him the job to come and sit there and cry to us? Show us that he feels sorry for himself. Then should resign.
No, but he's human.
Because Nanado never cried. He was fighting it.
He feels sad about the situation.
Abu Jinapo, as land minister, never cried. He fought it. He had enemies. When you're going to fight Galamsey, you will get enemies. You should be ready for that. And stop crying. The crocodile tears will not change anything. Didn't they let us know that 1 week can stop Galamsey when they were in opposition? The most important question, why is it so difficult for the president to revoke mining in the forest? Giving license for mining in the forest. Why is it so difficult for President Mahama to do that? Everybody is talking about it, but he seems to be quiet on that. He should come and tell us why. It's so difficult for him. That's something that when he was in opposition, they fought vehemently against. That nobody should go and mine in the forest. Now you are in government. That should have been one of the first things you do within your 120 days or your 100 days. That was one of the first things you should have signed. That this one there, nobody will stop me. I'm revoking all licenses to mine in the forest.
So you don't...
It's not for the minister to come and cry to us.
So you disagree with amending LI 246?
Amend for what?
You want it totally scrapped?
That is what he told us. That is what he told us. My brother was talking about state of emergency. Have they forgotten what they did? Demonstration upon demonstration when they were in opposition. Now it's not for the NADO to declare a state of emergency. It's for President Mahama to declare a state of emergency on all the river bodies. What is he doing? If he can't do the job, he should step aside. Nana will take over. If he can't do the job, he should step aside.
The president
because they've given him all the powers to declare a state of emergency and revoke every license from going to people from going to do galamsey or do just exploration in the forest. It's not for Alfred Thompson. It's not for Frederick to come and tell us that they've revoked it. It's for him to show us that he's a man of his words and he can do the job that has been given to him. So if he cannot do it, he should step aside. Others put their jobs on the line. They nearly lost elections because of that. When you people were going into the forest or to the galamsey sites and telling the people that even if they catch you, we'll come and open you and release you. So vote against the government that is fighting galamsey. We kept our cool and still fought it. Go and read about galamsey today. They'll tell you that it's become the worst thing ever since 2020. Now when you go there, it's worse. Go and check. That is why the minister is crying. Not because he's looking at us, because he's seen that he's failed. He has failed. The minister came to tell us that he can't go to 9 forests because foreigners have taken over. And the foreigners are the galamseyers. So he cannot go there. Then he come and sit on telly and cry to us. We should take it. That he feels so sorry. He should sorry himself. He should sorry himself. If he can't do the job, he should walk out. If the kitchen is too hot for him, he should walk out. Because what we are seeing today is not what they told us when they were in opposition. What we are seeing today. You know what? Mahama has 3 things to do. If he wants to tell us that he's serious about this galamsey fight, the president has 3 things. 1, he should revoke all licenses from mining in the forest reserve, any forest reserve in this country.
All the licenses?
All the licenses. From mining from any forest reserve in this country. If he's serious about it, like he told us in opposition, he told us that that can be done in less than 1 week. He should show us his commitment to this cause. 2, he should declare a state of emergency on all the water bodies. State of emergency, all the water bodies.
There are, you talked, speaking about revoking licenses of companies that are mining in the forest reserve, that there are very, very big corporations that are there, and they will tell you that they have been mining responsibly, even though it's in the forest reserves. You can now appreciate why that call may not necessarily happen.
Oh, he didn't know that when he was in opposition?
There were, but I don't, well, anyway. So give us a list of things
who said that President Nanado was a failure because he didn't do that.
Yes.
So does it mean that he's also a failure?
So give us the list of things that you want.
Third one.
Yes.
All foreigners who are, they are caught doing galamsey should be prosecuted before deported. That is the law. The Minerals and Mining Law. They are supposed to be prosecuted. So they shouldn't let them just that, because I've seen you, I've deported you. They can come with another name. How do you know? They should be prosecuted so that we know that A person, B person, C person has been prosecuted. When you come and we take your fingerprints and we realize that you are the same person, now we can fire you. Whatever we want to do with you, we'll do with you, because the law has told you that you have been prosecuted. So stay away from this country, because we are deporting you. We don't want our prisons to be choked, as they are saying. In that same way, our people who are fighting the galamsey or are doing the galamsey, if you think the foreigners should not be prosecuted or locked up, as is happening now, then our people, why are you locking them up? After all, you promised them that when you come, you release all of them. Partisan politics has not got any friend. And when you come on that note, you will feel sad within your first 100 days. That is what is happening to them. A word to the wise is enough.
All right. I guess that we would have to move on and we'll move away from the Akonta mining issue and perhaps end with the Alfred, I'm told there's some thank you tour that's happening soon, and it's been captured by today's Daily Guide newspaper. And I am also aware that Akonta Mining has, in fact, I've just been made aware that Akonta Mining has issued a statement on this matter. And so we'll just be fair to them by reading that statement that it has issued, after which we'll move on to our next topic, which is about the NPP's thank you tour. But closely related to the NPP thank you tour is a group which has emerged. They are saying that they want the NPP to make full disclosure of the Professor Michael Quake Committee's report in view of all the aspects of this which are being put out, which the NPP is now saying are false and so on and so forth. So they are saying, so put it out and let everybody see what's in there. But we'll get there. So Akonta Mining Company Limited has issued a strong rebuttal to what it describes as reckless and baseless accusations made by the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Emmanuel Kofi-Boa, over alleged illegal mining activities in the Tano in the Nimire Forest Reserve. In a press release issued by the company's management, Akonta Mining rejected the claims and described them as a clear breach of natural justice and a politically motivated act. Now, the Honourable Minister's decision to publicly link Akonta Mining to illegal mining activities and to call for the revocation of our mining license is not only unjust and premature, but also a clear case of seeking to hang the dog and give it a bad name. Okay, I thought it was rather give it a bad name and hang it. Anyway, Akonta Mining insisted that it holds valid leases and permits from the Minerals Commission and operates legally in Samraboy and Abokwase, not in the Tano and Nimire Forest Reserve. Now, it continues to say that the company further clarified that it has never mined in the Forest Reserve and that its request for access to the area was denied by both the Minerals Commission and the Forestry Commission in 2022. Akonta Mining also dismissed claims that they had accepted 50,000 Ghana cedis, so the minister mentioned 300,000 or 350, from illegal miners, calling the allegations entirely false, defamatory and mischievous, and challenging anyone with evidence to come forward. We vehemently deny any knowledge or association with one Mr. Isi, who is falsely alleged to be linked to us, the company adds. Highlighting the commitment to environmental responsibility, Akonta Mining pointed to ongoing reclamation of efforts, including the planting of over 18,000 coconut trees, with 32,000 more planned. Although this is estimated to cost the company hugely, we consider it as imperative to ensure a responsible mining project that will protect both the community and the environment. Akonta Mining concluded by reaffirming its willingness to cooperate with any legitimate investigation while urging the public and authorities to uphold principles of fairness and justice. So that's the...
Who do we believe? The minister or the...
Yes. Yes. Now, it would interest all of us to know that now let's go back into memory lane. You know, in 2022 when Erastus Asaridonko brought this, did that, the documentary, it came out with the, Akonta Mining came up with a press release. So it's quite similar to what it has done now. And this one says, alleged operations of Akonta Mining Limited in the Tano and Nimire Forest Reserve. It says, following the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources press release on 30th September 2022 on the alleged operations of Akonta Mining Limited in the Tano and Nimire Forest Reserve, the attention of the Minerals Commission has been drawn to a mining lease in circulation, purporting to be a lease granted to the company to undertake mining operations in the said Tano and Nimire Forest Reserve. And it says it will be recalled that the ministry's press statement of 30th September 2022 stated that while Akonta Mining Limited has a mining lease to undertake mining operations in some parts of Samraboy outside the forest reserve, the company has no mineral right to undertake any mining operations in the Tano and Nimire Forest Reserve. Okay. Now, for the avoidance of doubt, Akonta Mining Limited has 2 mining leases in the Samraboy. Okay. So, and if you can please bring it back to the beginning where I was. I think you've skipped it, so I may not be able to read it. Okay, so that's fine. But you recall that this was the statement that was released by the Minerals Commission in response to in response to Akonta Mining, that Akonta Mining's claim that it was not actually even operating in the Tano and Nimire Forest Reserve. And
They've come out to say
and Erastus's, and in fact it was in response to Erastus's claim in that documentary, and the Minerals Commission came to confirm that indeed. So you see, the Minerals Commission statement confirmed what Erastus had said, that they had heard of something of a sort was happening, but they have not granted them any license for them to enter the Etano Nemre forest to do any kind of mining. And Abu Jinapo himself, I recall, had to come out. There was actually a statement from the Lands and Natural Resources Ministry to also back what the Minerals Commission had said. So we're just taking you back to memory lane so that you can put all of that in perspective and know that it's not entirely new. It's always been a back and forth matter. I'm saying that now that the government is in charge and the government is convinced that Kunta Mining Limited has done something untoward, I think the government should just go ahead and go ahead if it's prosecutable to go ahead and prosecute them, because the back and forth has been too many, and it doesn't help all of us.
Need tears for this.
Yeah. Anyway, so yes, there's a thank you tour that's happening, and I said the Daily Guide is reporting this morning that 2024 presidential candidate of the New Patriotic Party, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, together with the party's leadership, is set to embark on a nationwide thank you tour starting Wednesday, April 23, 2025 at the party headquarters in Accra. So it's starting tomorrow.
April
Today
25th.
Yes. Oh, 25th. Okay, so it says starting Wednesday, April 23, 2025 at the party headquarters. Okay, so
they'll do the headquarters
exactly. So this tour, which has received the full endorsement of the MPP's National Council, seeks to express the heartfelt gratitude of the presidential candidate, the campaign team, and the party to members of the MPP and the public for their immense support throughout the 2024 electoral season. Now, closely related to this story is the one in today's Insight newspaper. Now, the Insight newspaper says that there's a group called the Freedom Fighters. Oh, why? You don't know the Freedom Fighters? Okay, all right. So Freedom Fighters, they are demanding, but they are members of your group.
Oh, just go on.
Okay, you do know them. Okay, all right. No, yeah, he owns the newspaper, yes. So Freedom Fighters demand full disclosure of Michael Quay's report. And that story is right here. It says that a pressure group which calls itself, I don't know them. Yeah. So a pressure group calls itself the New Patriotic Party Freedom Fighters, has expressed concerns over the secrecy surrounding the Professor Michael Quay report into the party's 2024 defeat at the polls. The group, which is not happy about the MPP leadership's handling of the report findings, which to date is buried in deep secrecy, wants its content made open to all grassroots members in line with the party's democratic tenets of truth, transparency, honesty, and accountability. A statement by the group, the leadership of the MPP Freedom Fighters, signed by Richard Edubuahine. Right? Sounds familiar, right? Richard Edubuahine, yes. Esquire, its convener, entitled Enough of the Secrecy, MPP members deserve to see the Michael Quay report, said, "We, the MPP Freedom Fighters, are deeply concerned by the continued silence surrounding the Michael Quay report. In a party that prides itself on democratic values and accountability, this level of secrecy is not only unacceptable, it is dangerous." The group expressed regret at the continuous attempt to hide its content, saying this report did not write itself. It was shaped by the candid contributions of well-meaning MPP members, party foot soldiers, regional executives, MPs, and grassroots organizers who shared their truth in the hope that it would lead to positive reforms. To now shut them out of the very report their voices built is an insult to the spirit of the party unity. The statement indicated as members of the New Patriotic Party, they have every right to access the full content of the report. If this report touches on internal reform, governance weaknesses, or ways to strengthen the MPP, then its concealment raises serious questions about what is being hidden and from whom. We demand full disclosure. Let the party base see what came out of their voices. Let the nation see where we stand as opposition party. And it goes on and on and on and on. Now, we please use just 2 minutes each to address this because we really have run out of time. But whilst at it, let me just quickly do this. So Alhaji Hamza sends a message. He says that, Alhaji Hamza says, "Good morning. My brother, truth be told, the revocation of the license of a Kunta Mining Company has been long overdue. My brother, you remember in 2022, the former Minister of Lands and Forestry, the Forestry Commission, the Minerals Commission told us in this country that a Kunta Mining Company has no license to do mining in a forest reserve. But what happened? He has been protected in the country. And let us not forget that Galamsey is an act of terrorism and genocide against the state, and they must be treated with kid gloves. They must not be treated with kid gloves. Functionaries of the MPP are out there saying this is witch hunting. My brother, if verification of the license of Akunta Mining Company has been described as witch hunting, then let it be so. That is from Hamza. And finally, this one here from Bachman, your very good friend, Alan Chairman says Bachman is one of his strategies. He says, until we confront the Galamsey menace as a political issue, we will continue to make no progress. There's no way illegal mining can thrive without the involvement and backing of politicians. They are the lifeline of this destructive enterprise. Cut off the political lifeline and Galamsey will be starved of the oxygen it needs to survive. Sadly, the Nana Addo Bawumia government intentionally left the Galamsey door ajar and looked away, allowing their family members, friends, and party boys to destroy our water bodies, forest, and cocoa industry. The current MP should be seen as enemy of the state. They are behaving like the proverbial bird that muddies the water upstream and goes downstream to axe with it. And that's Ebo Bachman. He talks about the Nana Addo Bawumia government. Anyway, so just 2 minutes. 2 minutes is
some messages. You just have to move on.
Yes.
I don't know where
to start and where to end.
Just what do you call
freedom fighters. Richard
they're coming from.
Yes.
The Kwesi Botwe report. Did you ever see it?
No, he's talking about your report.
No, I'm asking. Did you ever see the Kwesi Botwe report?
I don't.
You see, some things are there. It's best not to bring it out. It's best not to bring it out. I thought NDC people have been pasting page 66, 69, 96, and everything.
It's all over social.
They should read it. They should read it as the report. Whilst we focus and do what you have to do.
But Richard is a member of your party.
As a party, we will be focused. We will not be distracted.
Okay.
And if the the national executives deem it fit that they want to bring their report out, so be it. If they say that no, for security and personal and national and party reasons, they are not going to bring it. Not one person would push for that report to be brought out.
Okay.
It's not going to happen.
So what are you going to thank Ghanaians for?
We've had an election. The party brought out a flag bearer. He toured 265 constituencies in this country. He left one constituency out for security reasons. Other people went there, and today we see what is happening in that particular constituency. It's only God who can save us.
Okay.
So the party flag bearer for 2024 deemed it fit that, he went to people to plead with them for their support in his candidature. Over 41% agreed that, yes, they were going to support him to become the flag bearer, the president of the republic. Some 2 million people within the party were so angry with the party that they felt they would not go. That doesn't mean that because some people have voted for you, you should leave everything ajar. He wanted to do this earlier on, but because of the message, the Michael Quay committee that needed to go around to the constituencies, he didn't want to clash with them over there. That whilst they have called you, they also have their program to come and do this. So he said, let us all wait and let this thing come to an end. Once it's come to an end, he's called on the national executives that, listen, I didn't go on my own accord as an individual, Dr. Bawumia. I went on the party's accord.
Okay.
So I cannot go alone to go and thank the people.
Okay.
I believe I need your approval and your support, which they've put it together. They've sat down. It's been weeks of up and down. I've seen some of the meetings that have been going on to make sure that they fine-tune it for everybody to be on board.
Okay.
Other aspirants who were also had also gone for tours around were also invited to come on board.
All right. Unfortunately, our time is up. It's unfortunate that time. Otherwise, they'll take us off.
I wish Dr. Bawumia the best of luck on the tour.
All right.
I will be part of it. I'll go with them to some point, but I'll be away for some time.
Okay,
so
that's fine.
I wish him the best, and I wish the team, the national executives, the best.
That's fine. That's fine. If you can do it in just 30 seconds.
So what I'm saying is that this is not a new thing we are seeing in Ghana. I mean, almost every election they go for thank you tour. But I mean, we are all aware about the intention of Dr. Bawumia to rerun in the 2020.
Yeah, he's coming.
Yes.
Full shift.
On the ticket of NPP. But there are party members who have also put their feet because if you look at analysis from Global Info
analysis, yeah, that's unfortunately we have to go. We have to go.
You realize that I mean he's been one of the top people that have been accused.
That's fine. So there we can tell why he's a member of the NDC's communications team, and also Alfred Kojo Thompson is a member of the NDC's communications. Let me say a big thanks to Mr. Kakre Samwa, Director of Communications of the NDC's. Yesterday you celebrated your 67th birthday. Happy birthday. And also our own Barbara Siao here at Metro TV. You celebrated your birthday yesterday as well. Happy birthday to you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Every day in Ghana, a quiet revolution unfolds. A story of transformation, resilience, and unwavering commitment to creating a cleaner, greener nation. This is the story of the Jospon Group of Companies, a company at the heart of Ghana's sanitation revolution. It began in 2006 with one man